Hey, what's up everyone? Nick here. Welcome to the final piece of DLC that the Evil Within has to offer. This is the Executioner. It is a one-part DLC where we actually get to play as the Keeper. So if you don't remember who the Keeper is in the main game, he kind of became the face of the franchise, but the Keeper is Safehead. It's the giant guy in the butcher, in the, the butcher apron that carries this giant hammer and has a safe wrapped in barbed wire for a head. We get to play as him, and it's a lot of fun. It's kind of just a nice form of stress release from the main game. What I'm going to be doing in this playthrough is I'm going to be going through the whole thing without taking any damage, because that is what is required to get one of the achievements. However, I will be honest, this is more of a playthrough than a walkthrough, and I'll explain why that is once we get started. But before, we're going to witness a very quick introductory cutscene, or maybe not very quick, but go ahead and watch that, and then we'll get to the gameplay. Alright, so long story short, we basically have entered STEM to save our daughter. And when we enter STEM, we take the form of the Keeper. You're going to start right off the bat with the hammer. Now, the first thing you will notice is that my hammer is currently gold. And that is because I've unlocked the golden hammer. In fact, if you look right there, if you were to pause the screen and look in my inventory, you're going to see, holy crap, I have a ton of stuff. I have rocket launchers, I have chainsaws, I have swords. What the hell is going on? Because you should not be starting with all of these fantastic weapons. Well, here's the thing. The reason I said that this is more of a playthrough than a walkthrough is because you can play through and go for the no damage achievement. There's nothing stopping you. But in all reality, the easiest way to do a no damage run through of this is to have infinite ammo. Now you might be saying, well, okay, how do I get infinite ammo? Throughout the game, there are these things called torments, and there are 18 of them, and they're basically special ways to kill Haunted. If you complete all 18 torments, then you unlock infinite ammo. Now here's the catch. One of the torments requires you to beat what's called an execution chamber. However, the execution chamber that you have to beat, it's not unlocked until you already beat the DLC once. So basically what you would have to do to unlock infinite ammo is you'd have to beat the game once, and then beat the game a second time, and at the end of your second playthrough, you'd be able to unlock what is the secret execution chamber, and then once you beat that execution chamber, as well as getting all 17 of the other torments, that's when you unlock infinite ammo. And the reason I tell you that getting infinite ammo is going to make your no damage playthrough a lot easier is because you can have rocket launchers, and that allows you to shoot enemies from a distance, which will greatly reduce your chances of getting hit. Now here's the problem. If you've tried this for yourself, you're going to know one thing right off the bat. That secret execution chamber that I talked about, it's freaking hard. It is the hardest thing to do in this DLC. It's very challenging, and it's almost as challenging as some of the sections in Evil Within on Akumu mode. So you might be saying, well, Nick, why didn't you just make a walkthrough of that execution chamber instead of doing this? Because obviously I can't follow this if I haven't beaten that execution chamber. And you have a fair point there, but the reason I decided not to make that walkthrough is because there are already some walkthroughs for it online that I found very helpful. In fact, I had to use them myself in order to beat it, and so I didn't feel right making a walkthrough when I couldn't beat it without a walkthrough. So that's why I refrained from making a walkthrough for that execution chamber. And the reason, then the reason I'm showing you this content is because even though I'm not going to show you how to beat that execution chamber, I just want to show you the content. I want to show you this DLC mainly because I want to put the entire game on my channel. So that includes the game and all of the DLCs. So my hope for this, you know, if you're angry with me saying, well, damn it, Nick, I just wanted to see how to beat that execution chamber, I apologize. I definitely recommend you to look up other walkthroughs because there are some good ones on YouTube. But my hope for this is that you can kind of just sit back and relax and watch me beat the hell out of some Haunted, because it's a lot of fun. The Executioner is very powerful, especially at this point since I have all of the weapons at their maximum stats. And so basically what we're going to do in this DLC is we are going to go from room to room fighting some of the best monsters, some of the best bosses that the game has to offer. But you're going to see, so this first boss is the Sadist. But the way, so I am going to tell you some strategies here. The way that you want to do this, the way you want to get no damage, is just spam your rocket launcher the entire time. So you see right here, I'm going to stand back here, boom, shoot the two Haunted, kill them both with one explosion, and now the Sadist is going to spawn. Now normally I would have to equip my hammer and go and just start hitting him with my hammer, but when you do that, you're prone to take damage. So what I'm going to do instead is just equip the rocket launcher, 2 shots, and he goes down instantly. And so, like I said, in terms of a walkthrough, in terms of actually helping people, I don't know how this is going to do, but I just wanted to put this on here because I think it's a lot of fun to watch, and I wanted to share the content with you. So I'm going to basically be just zipping through this DLC. In fact, I think it's only going to take like 25 minutes, and it's just a lot of fun. And again, the reason I wasn't really stressing over making a walkthrough for it and more of just doing this as a playthrough is because after you put yourself through the hell that is the Evil Within on Akumu mode, this is a nice little break. You know, just sprinting through this with infinite rocket launcher ammo, it's a lot of fun. It's a hell of a lot of fun, and that's why I wanted to share with you guys. So once you go into this room here, you're gonna you can hit the first Haunted, and then you can just run down this hallway here. And as you saw in the main game, you're gonna be able to teleport to a different safe by literally ripping off your own head, and then there you go. Alright, so the next boss that we're gonna fight is one of the giants. I always forget their names, and the text on my screen is really small right now. I think that says Zen. I could be mistaken, but the point is, you know who I'm talking about. It's one of the giants that we encountered in the main game. So we're going to do the same strategy here. First, I'm going to hop on this turret, cause some initial damage, and then just go to town with the rocket launcher, and it'll be as easy as that. Now, the one thing you do have to be careful with, and another reason why it's definitely recommended that you do the no damage playthrough with the rocket launcher with the infinite ammo, is because during these boss fights, regular Haunted will infinitely spawn. So as if it weren't hard enough to kill these bosses with a hammer, then you have all these little Haunted storming the area too, and things just become increasingly difficult. So that's why it's recommended you get infinite ammo before going for the no damage playthrough. Now, at the time of recording this, so after I beat the Evil Within on Akumu mode, I was determined to not only do that, but to get all of the achievements that the game has to offer. That includes the main game and all of the DLCs. So the achievements for the Executioner are pretty easy. The toughest ones are 1, to beat that execution chamber I told you about, and then 2, to get the no damage playthrough. But once you unlock infinite ammo, doing the no damage thing is, like I said, very, very simple. Now that thing over there that just spawned on the wall, that is the first execution chamber. So I'm not going to do it because it's unnecessary. The execution chambers are just a way for you to collect coins. So when you kill enemies, you typically will get coins, and you can use those coins to upgrade your weapons. However, given the fact that I already have all of the weapons fully upgraded, there's no point in doing the execution chambers. So instead, you're just gonna make your way through here. And again, if you don't recognize this location, this is the mansion that Ruvik grew up in as a kid. The Victoriano family's mansion. We first come across it, I believe, in Chapter 9 of the main game. Now, this fight here, this is going to be one of the tougher ones because you're going to fight Joseph, and he does have a gun, so that's going to have to change our approach a little bit. But real quick, just listen. So for some reason, they didn't dub over, or they didn't do an English voiceover for this DLC. So like, you had Joseph right there just yelling something in Japanese, and I thought that was really funny the first time I heard it. I actually had to replay it again because I didn't think I heard correctly. But anyway, you're gonna hide under this floor here, and you're gonna wait for Joseph to come down, and then as soon as he lands, you're gonna start unloading on him with the rocket launcher. Now you got to do this quickly because, like I said, one, there's gonna be Haunted that starts spawning. But two, if you let him sit still for long enough, he'll start firing his gun at you. So the good news is it only takes 2 hits to take him down. You just have to make sure you do it quickly, otherwise you'll get swarmed by Haunted. And keep in mind, one thing you might want to do is just save the game after every boss fight, because what will happen is if you take damage, that's it. You're going to have to do the whole thing over again. So if you save before every boss fight, if you take damage, you could just reload your previous save. I suppose you could also just maybe reload the previous autosave, but that might be a little more risky because autosaves sometimes are prone to just not being fully reliable. But anyway, after you beat Joseph, this new room is going to open, and if you go in there, you can actually fight Sebastian. However, that is an optional fight, so once again, I'm going to skip it. And then just a word of note is that Sebastian fight actually does not unlock on your initial playthrough. It only unlocks on your second playthrough of the game. And just to let you guys know, this is actually my 3rd playthrough. So that's if you're going for the no damage run, that's kind of how you want to do it. You want to beat the game first, just have fun, maybe get all of the collectibles. On your second playthrough, you're going to beat Sebastian because that will unlock an achievement, and you're also going to try to beat that secret chamber at the end. And then on your 3rd playthrough, that's when you're going to go for the no damage, as long as you have infinite ammo. And then all in all, it shouldn't be too hard. It's just that one execution chamber, like I said, is pretty challenging. I'd say I spent about 35 minutes on it. Actually, no, that's a lie. I spent more than that because the problem is in that execution chamber, it's like a 10-minute long fight. And I died probably 20 times, so I spent way more than half an hour on it. I don't know where that estimate came from. The thing that makes it so hard is that in that execution chamber, you have to fight the Sadist, the Giant, the Alpha Amalgam thing, and then 2 Sadists at the same time. And then you also have to fight Joseph and Sebastian, who are both very overpowered. And as if that didn't sound hard enough, it's not all at the same time, so they kind of come in waves, but as if that doesn't sound hard enough, you're also going to be having to fight infinite waves of Haunted the entire time. So believe me when I say it is an infuriating fight. It was harder than most of the Evil Within on Akumu mode. It wasn't the hardest thing in this game, but it was harder than some of the parts of the main game on Akumu's. And to put that into DLC, I think that's a bit insane, but it did serve as a good challenge, and I will say that once you beat it, you do feel a sense of satisfaction. So overall, it's a good fight. It's a little unfair, but I think it's a good fight all in all. So anyway, you're going to make your way through this torture chamber here. This is another place that we came across in the main game. I can't, off the top of my head, remember what chapter. I want to say chapter 10, but I could be wrong. Anyway, we're going to approach our next boss fight, and this is going to be another Sadist, but this time he's going to be wielding an RPG. So much like the Joseph boss fight, this is another one where you have to be careful because the enemy is going to be shooting stuff at you at the same time you're shooting stuff at him. So what we're going to do is rely on the same strategy here. We're going to immediately run under this floor where he spawns, that way he can't shoot us. And we're going to wait for him to climb down. And then as soon as he climbs down, we're going to go to work. So here he goes. Shoot him once. And then what you're going to want to do after you shoot him, jump to the side a couple times, because chances are he is going to be able to pull off a shot. And if he does do that, you're going to have to dodge it. And you got to be careful here, because if one of those rockets hits something close to you, the explosion might be able to cause you some more damage. Now, once he gets down to about a quarter health, he'll swap his RPG for a chainsaw, and then it becomes very easy. Of course, the biggest threat here is just trying to finish him off quickly enough so that the haunted don't have time to spawn in great numbers. Alright, and so once you beat him, you'll see this wall take on a bloody image. And there's another execution chamber right there, so that's the second one. But once again, we're just going to ignore it and keep zipping through this. Oh, and I think I started to say this earlier, but yeah, at the time of recording this commentary, I'm actually only one achievement away from getting 100%. All I have left to do is beat the consequence on Koriyami mode. So I've beaten the assignment on Koriyami mode. Both of those videos are now on YouTube. And then sometimes when I have a very tough task at hand, I like to do easier things first. So because I'm really not looking forward to playing the consequence on Koriyami mode, that's why I'm recording this commentary early, because I just kind of want to delay playing the consequence because it's going to be a lot harder than the assignment was. Anyway, you're going to come to this room here, and there's going to be one of the invisible haunted. So what you're going to want to do is take out some of these traps and just set a couple of them near this. Just set them on the ground, and then what's going to happen is you have this ability to kind of scan the room, but the invisible haunted is going to run away from you. So if you throw those traps down, he'll get caught inside of them, and then you can just easily get the kill. You don't need the traps, but it's a lot easier because he's invisible and he runs away from you pretty quickly, so the traps just make your life a bit easier. Alright, and one quick word of note, sometimes it's hard to tell if you've actually taken a small piece of damage. So to check that, you can approach a health box, and if it won't let you pick up the health box, that means that you do in fact have full health, and so that can kind of reassure you that you haven't taken any damage. Whereas if you notice that you can pick up the health box, that means you've taken a bit of damage even if you can't really see it, and then you might want to have to restart the checkpoint or something. Alright, so here's the Amalgam Alpha. This is, in my opinion, the hardest fight because he can take the most damage. So right off the bat, I'm going to hide behind this corner here. I'm going to start unloading on him. The problem is, if he gets close to a car, he can actually throw the car at you and it will explode and cause you damage. So that's why I'm standing kind of close to this wall here. I'm just going to start unloading my RPGs on him as quickly as I can. I'm trying to make it so that he can't even get up. And then right here, I'm almost done, but he's about to lunge at me. And then you see right there, I got kind of lucky. The haunted already started spawning. Luckily, I was able to notice that, dodge out of the way, finish him off with an RPG, and we're good to go. So it's not necessarily that difficult, especially if you just keep spamming him with rockets. The problem is the haunted. So you saw I just got kind of lucky that the haunted missed me right there, and so you just might want to be a little more vigilant than I was. So maybe take the time to peek around for a second, make sure there's no haunted coming, and then continue on with the RPG shots. And once you defeat him, that's the end of the second wave. So this whole DLC is kind of 3 waves. This is the end of the second part, and now we're going to move closer to the final boss. So go ahead and continue down this tunnel here. And you'll see the image of your daughter approaching this wall. You can actually look into all of these doorways too, and you'll see the actual humans that are in STEM that are taking on the form of the villains of the bosses. But anyway, go ahead and focus right here to reveal this hidden door. You're going to come to this room here, and this is where the secret execution chamber is. So right now I'm just going to save my game, but immediately behind me, that's where the execution chamber is. That's the one that you have to beat on your second or third playthrough in order to unlock infinite ammo. And now we're going to continue on, because like I said, I'm not actually going to show you how to do that because this isn't, I mean, it's kind of a walkthrough, but it's more of a playthrough. I don't know, I don't want to get lost in the words or anything. But anyway, go ahead and rip your head off, spawn right here, and then as you approach this gate, it's going to open up, and that's going to trigger a short little, not really cutscene, but just short little cinematic. So anyway, we're approaching the last boss fight here. It's kind of a cool fight. It's really easy, but it's cool nonetheless. So you'll see these kind of dark particles fleeing away from us towards the daughter, and now you can see that the Dark Keeper has now formed. I guess I've never played a Legend of Zelda game, but I think there's a character called Dark Link. I don't know how I know that. Maybe it's from Super Smash Bros. or from maybe I don't know how I know that, but I know there's a character called Shadow Link or Dark Link, and that's what this reminded me of when I saw it, just like the Dark Executioner. But now I'm really confused. I don't know how I know that character because I've never beaten a Legend of Zelda game, but maybe I've just I don't know. Who cares? That's a mystery for another day. Anyway, this is where we are going to fight the Keeper, and the game's actually going to give you a hint on how to kill him. You have to trap him under one of these traps, and then you have to pull the lever. So I'm going to equip my traps. Again, this is very easy because I have an infinite supply of them, thanks to the infinite ammo. So I'm just going to spam that area with traps, and then he's going to spawn right here. Now, the only tricky part comes from this. For some reason, if he walks over the traps, they won't stop him. But if he lunges over the traps, they will stop him. So you're going to see exactly what I mean by that when it happens. But what you want to do is just load these areas with traps, and then you want to get him to lunge at you. So you notice how I backed away kind of far? That was my mistake, because if you get too far away from him, he won't lunge at you. He'll just walk towards you, and that's why the traps didn't work. So now I'm going to try to redo that. I'm going to try to stand a little closer to him so that he'll lunge at me. And then there you see, because he lunged at me that time, he was able to get caught in the trap, and thus there is our first piece of damage. Now we're going to have to do this 3 times. But yeah, that's the little subtlety there. So if I don't know why that is, but if he walks over the traps, they won't catch him. It's only if he tries to lunge over them that they will. So that's why you can't back too far away from him, otherwise he'll never lunge at you. He'll just walk towards you slowly. So make sure you take that into account when you're trying to beat this guy. And so now he's going to respawn, and in that small bit of downtime, you might just want to throw a few more traps into this area just to guarantee that you do in fact catch him. And now here you see he's coming at me, so I'm going to try to get close to him. I'm going to try to get him to lunge, but there you see it didn't work. That time it did because he lunged, and now I'm going to pull the trap. I think I ended up missing though. Yeah, so I just missed him because he was just outside of the damage range. So I don't know where he's going. He saw me run past him, but I'm getting really pissed here. My traps keep getting reflected. But anyway, I'm going to wait for him to turn around and realize his mistake. In the meanwhile, I'm going to throw some more traps here. And now we're going to do a take 2. So again, try to stand a bit closer to him so that he'll lunge at you. There we go. Trap set. And there is the second piece of damage. Now we're going to have to do this one more time, but this time things are going to get a little harder. So what you're going to want to do is equip your sword, or hammer I guess, but I like the sword. We're almost done. One more piece of damage. So I'm going to equip my sword, and now what's going to happen is he's going to respawn, but when he does so this time, he's going to spawn with him Laura, or at least her arms, and those arms are going to be chasing you, and you have no choice but to run away from them. So right here, as soon as you gain control, turn around, because if these arms catch you, you have to do the whole fight over again. So turn around immediately and just sprint away, and you'll notice how this chamber is kind of one big loop. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to sprint through the loop, and for the first couple of seconds, he's not going to be visible. So the Keeper right now, he's off. You can't fight him right now. He's disappeared. So all you have to do is run away from the arms. So just keep running in a circle. Don't stop. You'll notice how I keep using this focus ability. That's because eventually the Keeper will be here, and once you focus him, you'll be able to hit him, and that will cause the arms to go away. So again, right now, I'm just running in a circle. Finally, there he is. I'm going to take a slash at him. Now the arms will be gone. You don't have to worry about the arms anymore, and now it's just a rinse and repeat. You're going to prime your traps, get him caught, and then deliver the final piece of damage, and that is it, guys. That will be the end of the Executioner. Not a very tough boss, or not a very tough DLC, but that's considering the fact that you're able to unlock the infinite ammo. And again, you do that by beating that really hard execution chamber. But anyway, that is the end of the fight. That should get you the achievement. And now we are basically going to witness the final cutscene, and then we'll see the statistics at the end of the screen. So there's not really any cutscene here. It's just a cinematic. So those are the bathtubs that you use to go into STEM, and you can see the footprints. Kind of a sad ending, I guess. So there's the daughter that we went into STEM to try to rescue, and there we are, seemingly dead. So I'm not sure what the symbolism is supposed to be, but that is what happened. So anyway, guys, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this playthrough. Again, if you want to see anything else from The Evil Within, the main game on Akumu, the 2 Julie Kidman DLCs on Koriyami, anything at all, feel free to check out my channel. And then, of course, on October 13th, that's when Evil Within 2 comes out. And you bet your ass I'll be covering that as well. Anyway, there's the achievement. Here are my statistics. I think I got an S ranking. 24 minutes, 0 deaths, just as it should have been. And that, everybody, is The Executioner, the 3rd and final piece of DLC that The Evil Within has to offer. Thanks again for watching. Like and subscribe if you get the chance. And I think that's everything. I'll see you later.